Okay, how's everybody doing? So I just want to give you a brief overview of these MicroMaster 5.5 Royal Navy guns. These will be going on my Trumpeter hood that I backdated to pre-Malta 1936. So before I found his site, actually, I was going to scratch these just as kind of an impression. And when I saw these, like this is his CAD drawing. When I saw these, I thought, no way, right? Like, there's no way they look like that. Actually, they look better than this. Like, I'm not kidding you. So if you find reviews about MicroMaster, detail parts, a lot of them would be sort of geared towards 1/350th because that's sort of the major part of the market, I guess. But these are 1/200 scale, and they blew my mind when I got them in the mail and I opened them up and I started to clean them up and assemble them. They're 3 pieces. Okay, like the gun shields, like you can't really appreciate them. Here, just one second. Like it's really hard to appreciate the detail on these. Like even like these handles here, like they're molded, like see? Like they're incredible, these. And then like these gun shields go on here and the guns elevate. I'm going to try to mount them so that I can rotate them a bit first, like just maybe on one side just for, feature picks. So the beauty of these is I'm going to be able to paint the gun carriage, the gun itself, and the shield separately and shift the shades. And these are just stunning pieces of work. Now, I'll just say this right now that they are expensive. But if you're doing that one-off model ship that you really want to do for yourself as a real showpiece or a masterclass model, then you're shortchanging yourself if you think that you're going to find an injection molded part that can even hold a candle to these, because there's no way. I've been in the game a long time, and of course, when I was around, they didn't have 3D printing, but I didn't know that it could get this good. I know a few people that do them, and in their own genres, they're really king at it. But when it comes to Navy detail parts, I believe his name is Simon. He's on another level, this chap. And I'm really happy that I got these and other ones from him. I feel privileged, actually. Because with 3D parts, you never know how long they're going to be available, due to many factors. But I just want to say thank you, MicroMaster, for taking the time to produce these and make them available in the way that you do. So these are the gun cradles, and this is where I really like Vallejo colors here, as an acrylic, I mean, for washes. I'm just sort of hooked on Vallejo for washes when it comes to acrylic. Like they work, so I don't have any reason to change. Unless I'm using oils or enamels, but not in a small model like this. I want an acrylic, really strong pigment wash. In this case, Armor Brown 71.041, which a lot of military modelers use it. It's just a really good go-to sort of dark rust color, I find. And notice how I put water down first on the checker plate, and then it's a bit too much there. Once you get into the flow, you just drop it in and let it dry. Like it'll dry in a couple of minutes, and then if it's not strong enough, you just add another little thin layer until you like it. And I just think it makes a nice touch. Because on ships and vehicles, steel out in the weather, that's what happens. If it's not painted, it's a lot of wear here. So they're walking on this a lot, and it just goes really dark. So you can see, it's just a nice little touch there. I'll shift the color. Armor Brown. Okay, so here's the three main parts to the 5.5s for Hood. I'm going to start putting them together now. What I'm going to do is probably, like, once they're assembled, I'm going to use matte medium acrylic, because these are all matte medium and they're clear coated. But I think what I need to do is just give these a shot of gray, because they are lighter colored inside. I was hoping for, you know, to sort of simulate a little bit of a shadow effect inside the gun tub or cabinet, just for, you know, to help contrast them. They look pretty good actually like that, but I'll just give them a little bit of overspray there just to catch the edges, because these were taped down like this on the tape stick. But I'll have to tell you, these are just beautiful models. I'm so glad I got these. To think that I was going to scratch build these, and now when I look at these, I thought, well, you were dreaming, right? Because they'd never turn out like that. Anyway, I'll move forward here on them. Okay, I just want to show you how I go about gluing pre-painted parts, especially resin pieces like this. So there's no way I'm going to be scraping off paint and then using CA. Like I'm not going to use super glue to glue my model parts together with at all, if I can help it. I do use it for clamping parts, but then I always chase with Liquitex matte medium like pure. Like, this is an unbelievable adhesive for painted parts if they're predominantly acrylic like painted parts. But it'll also work with enamel paints as well, and on oils that have been cured really well. But normally, like, this is not marketed as glue because it would be cost prohibitive, because it'd be too expensive. But for model parts, I mentioned before, it's ideal. And the nice thing about it is it almost grabs right away. If you grab a blob on your brush like this, and in this case, I'm just going to drop it into this gun base, like the pockets in the frame, and then there's little knobbies on the outside of the gun sleeve here, and then I just basically drop it into place, and then I can move it around a bit, but it starts to get hard slowly, like in terms of a cure rate, so you can move it around for quite a while. And just let me just zoom out a little bit more, and then you can sort of, you know, line up like the gun barrels or position them. Now, they are positionable, these MicroMaster guns and cradles in that sense, but you have to glue them in place. I mean, they'll just fall off, you know, eventually. So that's a little bit of a disappointment for me, but I don't expect it to be any different than that, because these are just, like I said, they're beautiful models. But I have to decide, like, I want to be able to elevate 3 of them on the side, so I don't know what I'm going to do. And because they're inside pockets in the shelter deck, I'm a little bit hooped there, so I have to make that decision. And then I'm going to have to risk busting them off, because I'm way, like, so far from finishing the ship. And they'll be sticking out a little bit, so I don't know what I'm going to do there. But in the meantime, you can see that these have been glued with matte medium now, and once the matte medium cures, it usually takes a few days to really kick off solid. They'll never be brittle. If you use super glue, yeah, they'll grab right away, but what if you want to adjust them? Then you got to break the part, or the super glue will blister the paint, and the paint pulls away from the resin and or styrene plastic as well. So, you know, it's just that a lot of the modeling culture has been indoctrinated with, you know, super glue, and it was never intended for that, really. It was intended, when it was used in the film industry, to speed up a model build so that they could get it to cameras ASAP within, you know, a day or two. But for models, you don't need it. Like, you don't need it to be glued, you know, right away, do you? Okay, so that's why I use this for glue and painted model parts. It sets me free too, because I can pre-paint everything. I don't have to worry, and when they're glued, they'll never be brittle and break off. Okay, cheers.